Hey, this is Robert. Thank you for tuning into the show. And yeah, it's by the time of this recording, it's going to be a day before my 26th birthday. So yeah, I'm going to be celebrating hard. And I just was sharing in previous interviews and stuff that I was already done with other actors. But I'm going to be at the Los Angeles LA Comic Con this weekend. So just wanted to throw that out there, just get that out of the way. For anybody that wants to come by, say hi, or just meet up, or just do whatever we do at conventions. Just be nice. I don't bite. I promise I'm not crazy or anything. But yeah, birthday celebration stuff. Yeah, so that's gonna be my big little plug at the start of this. Just wanted to knock that out, but you probably don't really care about any of that because you just want me to just get right on to this little follow-up episode that I'm doing with Susie, who you might remember from, I think we did this about a year or so ago, give or take. At least
I
around that
think it
time.
was a year
Yeah.
ago. And also, happy birthday. Didn't want to mess with your little intro, but oh my
Yeah.
goodness, happy birthday. I hope you have the best time at the convention and that everybody comes and says hi.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, I'm just really thankful that we're just doing this, and I know we kind of had to, like what usually happens. There's always kind of been a little bit of like, um, how do I
Life.
call it? Like, just life, and also just do a little bit of like moving around. But we're
Mhm.
here today, so
We're
yeah,
here. We're here now. It's happening.
for sure. Yeah. So I guess my first question to you is, how is everything since we last spoke? And yeah, just share about everything that you've kind of been up to this year and just take us on a trip of your 2025 retrospective since we're almost already at the end, which is,
Sure. Oh my goodness, we're almost at the end. That's so
I know,
crazy.
yeah, boy.
Okay, let's think. Okay, so since we last spoke, okay, I think I did another season of my podcast since we last spoke, which is crazy. I did like a shorter one. I wanted to get it out of the way because I ended up getting pregnant again. So, yeah, that was kind of my year. You were like, "Oh man, like I want to hear what you've been up to." And I'm like, "Well, what I've been up to has pretty much been diapers and bottle feeding." That's been like the second half of my 2025. First half was all being pregnant and miserable, and now I've got my newborn. Well, she's 3 months now. So that's really been my year. I actually kind of took off a little bit of time after my last season of the podcast to just be present with my family because I've got a 3-year-old as well who's almost 4, and then my new little one. So just kind of been off, haven't been making too much content, taking a little break, but hopefully we'll be getting back to it. I think in October, I'm going to try to kind of get back into things. So yeah, 2025 it's been like a wild whirlwind, just busy, like not sleeping. That's been my 2025.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's been the same where it's like, it was definitely a crazy roller coaster of a year where well, there's been a lot of very interesting stuff, like new kind of adapting to our current landscape as it is, which can also be um quite a challenge in and of itself. I mean,
Oh yeah.
like, look, I know that there's plenty of different, podcasts and stuff like that that are talking about like world or just anything that you might
Mhm.
get. Like we've seen enough of the news already. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just gonna leave it at that. And this is not really like a political type of podcast, but yeah, it's definitely been turbulent, but it's also kind of been
Challenging year.
yeah, yeah, it's for sure. I will say that this year has also been like,
Yeah.
it's been both up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's just not really consistent. Like, it's not really consistently good, but I also don't want to say that it's been consistently like bad either. I mean, well, in to a lot of people it might seem that way, but for the most part, I'm just kind of glad for a lot of us. We're still trying to figure out how to, you know try to balance the all the craziness of everything and then try to challenge it into what we make or and just
Yeah.
challenging it into stuff that we love to do. I mean, I will say that it's definitely not been a really boring year per se, but it's definitely one that I will say that it's like, oh wow, man, it's going by way too fast. It feels so long, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God, we're almost already in October. That is
I
crazy to me.
know.
Yeah,
No, you're so right. This year has been a challenge. It's been
yeah,
stressful. Things have been
yeah,
crazy. Things are happening that I wish were not happening. Like so
yeah,
so much. But yeah, you're so right. Like it's never all bad, you know? Like
yeah.
there's always something that you can find that's good. I mean, like for me, like it's we're building our family, you know. So I've been really holding on to that in these crazy unprecedented times. Like I've just gotta hold on to just my family and like what we're doing and the fun things that we do, like with our little projects that we do. Yeah.
A lot of emphasis on a very stressful, unprecedented times. But hey, we're still here,
We're still here.
somehow surviving.
We've made it this far.
Amen to that. So, um, I guess you've already kind of answered my first question, which was, what would you say was something that you were the most excited about this year? Which I think you kind of already answered. Well, first off, congrats on, your newborn. And I know that, um, being a mother and also just doing these interviews with a lot of the because I think the last time we spoke, you did interviews with some of the Nancy Drew actors, and I still remember, your interview that you did with Brittany Cox, which whom I actually interviewed. Funnily enough, it was on. I remember this very vividly too. It was on Halloween last year, so it's
Yes,
just
I
kind of crazy how it
saw.
works. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I saw. She is so wonderful, isn't she?
I know, yeah, and I'm just really happy that we kind of did it at a time when it's not like when the sun is not kicking our butts per se. Which thankfully though we're just now finally starting to get into fall with, and I really do enjoy summertime, but I really don't enjoy having to turn an AC on every single day.
Yeah. So
Oh
you
man,
said that you are in California, right?
yeah, we're both in Cali. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's that's very different from where I am. I am actually on the opposite side of the country over in Maryland, so we're already experiencing fall.
Yeah, good that you're experiencing it a lot faster than we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like trees are turning orange already. Like we have those like nice crisp 70-degree days. It's like a paradise.
And I'm just still waiting for that 70-degree day. We haven't had it in like I want to say the last time was around June, July. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just been at the eight. It's really interesting because it would just go up in the 90s and 100s, and then it would just cool down to the 80s, and then go back up, and then just start going down again. So we're gonna be having another cool down, thank God, this weekend. Which honestly, it should be nice because I think we're probably for those that are also going to be at the Comic Con, I know most of it is going to be indoors, but for those that do the cosplays and walking around outside, I think it's going to be too bad, prayerfully. Remember
Yeah.
to stay hydrated, though. Just as a quick little, you know,
Yeah.
shout out.
The
Just
heavier
as
the
a quick little
costume,
PSA, yes.
the
Yeah, and
hotter
also
it
the,
is.
I know, yeah. I mean, like, I also seem to notice that the more expensive, like I know that people do this full time, but the more expensive they are, the hotter that it really, the more insufferable that
Yeah.
the California heat wave can be. Whew, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Oh my
like the
goodness. Are you going to be dressed up?
I thought about it, but I just did not really have
Yeah.
like the only thing that I would cosplay or dress up as if I ever get around to it is like Miles from like the Spider Man, like the Spider
Mm,
Verse movies. I think that's pretty much the only thing that I would do. Otherwise, just, wear my fedora or just wear
yeah.
something that's snazzy. That's just all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but that would be so cool if you could do
I know,
Miles.
yeah. I'm just still waiting for one of these days if I have the time and the money for that type of thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Because I
yeah,
already
that's the
do
key.
Yeah, because like Brittany, I also do voiceover like kind of full time. So a
Yeah.
lot of the time is spent on that and also just creating some stuff that I've already talked about a few
Yes.
times on there. So I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, check out a little special something that might be coming out later in the winter time. So keep an eye out for it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But other than that, oh, let me turn this on because the sun is setting. But yeah, yeah, we need the light. The Lord gave us this light. So yeah, but I was just saying with weathering, but you were saying that you're in Maryland. So I'm just really glad that it's starting to feel like fall.
Hmm.
It's probably not going to feel like it for at least until November. I'm just going to be straight up.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a shame. I'm such like a cold weather girl. Like once it
yeah.
starts getting a little lower, like I feel like like people have like SADS, they have like seasonal affective disorder, and it kind of gets worse for them over like fall and winter. It's the opposite for me. I'm like summertime is not my time. I am not a summer Susie. However, fall, that's my season. So yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
happy
Fall
right
and
now.
winter, it's kind of a really good time. Spring is also not really too bad.
Mhm.
I mean, it kind of does start warming up in the spring, but it's nothing compared to like summer, without a doubt,
Yeah,
easily.
too.
Yeah, so that was my little soapbox about weather that I always do on here.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but another quick question though is like, I think I asked the last time what were some of your favorite interviews that you've done, but what would you say is something that you really cherish or just love so much after of just doing YouTube content creating and just really putting yourself out there?
Oh my goodness. The community is the first thing that comes to mind. Like the little community that I've built has been a family. Like, like I really feel like the people that I've met through this have become like lifelong friends or like people at least that I just want to like cheer on from the sideline, like the community is truly unmatched. Like even the other like the podcasters that I've met, like you and like other podcasters that I've met, I mean, I remember you gave me like a laundry list of people. You were like, "Here, you should maybe interview these people on your show." Like, and that's an experience that I've had with others as well. Of like, there's room for everyone. Like there's room for another channel. There's room for another podcast, and nobody's in competition, or at least I haven't experienced that. And it's been so just uplifting, and the people are just so kind. And of course, you always have your odd, person who doesn't love what you're doing, but they can watch somebody else, like it's just the community has been so unmatched for me. And meeting so many cool people. Like you said, like Brittany is just a wonderful person, and I've met so many other wonderful voice actors, and content creators of various kinds, YouTubers, Twitch streamers, like just so many people that I've just been like people that I watched maybe for years, and I finally like I got to meet them and interview them, and that's been just so fun and like fulfilling because then I get to chat with them about, something that they're passionate about. And then we get to bro out for a moment about like something that we love together, like it's just so fun. So does that answer the question?
Guys, yeah, because I'm just
Yeah.
like you were talking about all these people that you were interviewing, and something that really stood out to me was it's not really so much like, oh, I just want to be a big famous YouTuber. It's like, you know what? I really love this stuff. I love Nancy Drew and getting to talk with Kennedy McCann or just a lot of the voice actors that you've also interviewed on your channel. It's just really a nice and it really does extend to me as well because when I talk to somebody like on the show, it's kind of we kind of share something that is, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know about this, or oh, okay, like you kind of do your homework and research, and then you just kind of mention like, oh, I was in this production, and then it just kind of snowballs into a conversation on musical theater. So it's
Yes.
like the more that you kind of just let it just be natural and be organic and just kind of be off
Mhm.
topic about a lot of stuff, I think it just really makes the best type of content, in my opinion.
It really does. It really does. And like a lot of my stuff is really niche, so I really love that. But like anybody really could come in and have fun with it because like all the people that I talk to, we end up on like random rants. Like we end up doing like all these rabbit holes, like just going down some random topic. Like I remember this one time we ended up talking about like dreams and, like it's just and there was one like you said, like we ended up talking about like musical theater that the guy was in, and it was just yeah, there's always something cool. One of the girls that I interviewed, she is a bodybuilder. Like we find out so many fun things, and then I get to learn something, and like we get to hear them being passionate about their thing. It's so fun.
Oh yeah, I'm just like I said, you just never know what kind of conversations you'll talk about when you're doing
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
And what would you say? I know we talked about 2025 and all that, but what would you say it are some of your, I guess, um, I mean, I know you're taking care of, little ones and stuff like that, but what would you say is something that's also been kind of keeping you just really, really joyful and positive all throughout the year? Or just even
Oh my
in the
goodness.
last couple of like recent, yeah, just period in general life.
Oh, yes, that's a fun question. So, besides my kids, because obviously my kids and my husband are like the joy of my life. I only have one life. Um, the joy of my life. I also have a kitty cat. His name is Salem, and I absolutely adore him. But okay, so outside of like my content creation and all that stuff as well, because I of course love that stuff. I have a day job. I actually am a bridal stylist, and so I'm the person that people come to, like they come to the boutique, and I fit them in formal wear. I do wedding dresses for brides, like the whole look, you know. Um, but also I've been starting a new business where it's kind of a sister to what I already do, but I will be doing like day of stuff. So I'll go to their wedding and I'll help them get dressed and I'll be coordinating their day, that type of stuff. So that's been really fun because I get to really like, I'm a people person and I'm a girl's girl and I'm a wedding person. So this is dream job. So I've been having so much fun with this and I absolutely adore going to people's weddings and helping them make it so fun and like stress free, like I'll take on everything so that the bride never has to like worry about a thing. So that's been something that's been really fun this year is like obviously the job itself, but also like coming up with this new like portion of the business and figuring all of that out. And I've been creating the website, so that's really fun. And then of course I do my best to have hobbies on the side, which is like it sounds really crazy. Like how does she have a family and and a newborn, like two kids and a job and two hobbies as well? And it's not easy.
Don't you just
Believe
love
it or not,
that?
not easy.
Don't you just love that balance of just trying to figure something out and then just having to
Yeah.
juggle so
Um,
many different, yeah,
I
balls at
do a lot of
once?
juggling. I wear a lot of hats. But
Yeah.
another thing that I really make sure that I do to like remain, like to be happy and to have the joy of each day. I am such a gamer. I am such a gamer. So I'm always on, especially like cozy games or like mystery games. Like that's my thing. So I am always gaming, or doing something like that. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, right on. So I think it also kind of kind of segues into the next, kind of piggyback. Is it piggy banking or piggyback? I don't words today.
Piggybacking? I think it's
Yeah,
piggybacking.
piggyback. Yeah, it's just
Let's
going
go with
back
that.
to what we were talking about earlier. It's like, finding that balance of doing all this stuff and then, you yourself, you're a full-time mother and you have a husband that is, doing that is really helping you taking care of these kids and
Oh yeah, couldn't do
yeah,
it without him.
so oh yeah, for sure. I don't know if it's something that I've asked you the last time, but would you say that being entering motherhood, yeah, entering motherhood was kind of like uh, a big life transition that to this day you wouldn't trade for anything else? Would you say?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh my goodness. It is the hardest yet most worthwhile thing that I have ever or will ever do. There, it is absolutely unmatched. Like there's nothing like the moment, and I've had it twice now, the moment that they put that little baby on your chest. Like all of a sudden your life is completely different, and I would not change a thing. Like even all of the hard things, like the stuff that you think about and you're like, wow, this would really suck when you're not a parent. When you look forward to like having a child and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna sleep again, or I'm gonna change millions of diapers, and I'm never gonna be able to go out with my friends again. Like it's not true. I mean, I'm in a sleepless period right now because my child is very young, but it is always a phase and you always get through it and it's always still so worth it. I mean, even when she only sleeps for half an hour, I go in and I like get her up and I turn on the light and she gives me the biggest grin, and it just makes everything worthwhile. And it's just there's just nothing that feeling, of like there's a little tiny person, or in my case there's two little tiny people who like their entire world revolves around how much you love them. So the transition, while it was absolutely so difficult, and like it's so crazy because one day you're young and you're doing whatever you want, and then the next day you're scheduling everything around when your baby naps. um it's just so worth it. And I always tell people, like, when they're like, oh, we're thinking about maybe trying to have kids, I'm like, it is so hard. It is so worth it. And I mean, my son is almost 4, and I look back and I'm like, didn't I just give birth to him? Like it's so fast too, because it's like you blink and you miss it. But oh, so crazy. But you just kind of do it, like the transitional period. I just kind of did it. I didn't even really think about it. You just kind of, you're suddenly there and you just do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, did it literally just happen? But then you're just like, all this time
Feels
just
like
goes
it.
by, and yeah, wow. This
It
just
feels like it.
just man, it's
Hmm.
4 years doesn't really feel like a long time, but at the end of the day, it can feel so long, and yet it just goes by so quickly. Like I was saying before, it's weird how when you're
Yeah.
older, the more time just kind of goes by just like that, like
Yeah.
a breeze.
Yeah, it's so true. I actually feel like, I mean, so at my next birthday, I will be 30. And I'm excited. I'm like, I love aging. I think that aging is great. I love, like, the older I get, the better I feel like. Um, just, steadier, more settled, less anxious, like everything feels better. But it's just so wild because like you said, like literally when I got pregnant with my son, I was 25. Like it feels like yesterday, but I'm like, I'm not 25 anymore. Like it's wild.
Absolutely, it really is wild, man. Uh, I guess I had a question that was related to okay, there it is. So for video games, besides Nancy
Yeah.
Drew, what would you say are some of the games or just shows, movies, or just anything like media in general that you consider to be just absolutely just inspirational? Like no matter how much or how many times that you've seen it over and over and over, over and over and over again, like it just never fails to just, you know, you just hold so much love for it. It just
Oh,
is something that has left such a major, majorly big impact on your life, what would it be and why?
Let's see. Okay, so I'll start with video games. Obviously, like you mentioned, I am a big Nancy Drew girly. That's probably my biggest one for video games. I'm also really into cozy games, like I mentioned. So, there are definitely some cozies that have like stuck with me and been really inspirational. Um, like I'll give a few examples of some of my absolute favorites. I love A Little to the Left and Unpacking are two of my like all-time favorite games. As for the mystery games, obviously the Nancy Drews, and one called Agent A was my favorite. Okay, go get her. Yes, please. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, husband had a question for me. And then, oh my goodness, other media. So TV shows. I love shows from like my childhood so much, like 90s sitcoms in particular. So my absolute favorite is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And I named my cat after the cat from that show. So his name is Salem. I watch it every single year without fail at like around September. Becomes like Sabrina season for me. Um, let's see. Movies. Uh, I have a few favorites. I'm a big Disney girly. I've never been to Disney, but I love the movies. Um, so I love like Atlantis, The Lost Empire, um, Treasure Planet, like those kinds. Those ones have always been faves for me. Princesses, I love those, of course, as well. Tangled. Other movies, I I'm such like a feel good person. I love anything that's going to like not scare me. I don't want anything to make me feel anything but happiness. So I love like Pride and Prejudice. like like that type of stuff. I'm actually a really big reader as well. So I read a lot of like classic literature, like for example, Jane Austen's. I read a lot of like romance books, like the fun ones that like make you laugh, like so I do a lot of that stuff. Um, and that's kind of like I pull from all of these things to do like my content. I do a lot of like just feel good, fun, nostalgic stuff.
I am the same way. I could just talk about Disney and VHS tapes that I used to. I mean, I'm pretty sure I still have them in a storage somewhere. It's been, when I say years, I mean like over a decade at this point.
Oh, I bet.
And it is just, yeah, it's always just fun just reliving your childhood. Just, and
Yes.
even watching like those. Because I used to record shows on like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, and then just seeing all these like wacky commercials that would come on in between there, and it's
Oh,
fine.
yes.
It really
Oh, I
is.
loved when commercials were geared towards kids and
Yeah, like
it was like
90s to that. Yeah.
Nerf or some
Yes.
random toy.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes, those were
Yes.
the best. Or like the candy commercials.
Mm.
Those were so
Ah,
good. I miss that.
so I do too. Man, what I wouldn't give to go back to that era. That
I
Gen
know. What a good
X
era.
millennial stage. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you Gen Alpha and Gen Z kids don't know what that's like. Back in those old days, we used to rent videos on Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and what? Yes, we used to go to a store and rent video games, yo. But I mean, we do have
Oh,
games, but still, like, we used to rent VHS video cassette tapes. Pepperidge Farm remembers? We remember indeed. So,
do you remember
yeah.
when Netflix came in the mail? Uh,
Yes. Yes, I was just thinking about that. Oh my gosh, and we used to play
uh,
these games on the
I
interweb.
got my first Audrey Hepburn movie from Netflix in the mail.
Uh,
Oh.
So yeah, that was a blast from the past.
Yeah, right?
So um, but I kind of wanted to ask you like maybe a few more and then we'll wrap it up. But what would be something that really reminded that you go back to and you just think to yourself, wow, I'm just so glad that, I'm doing YouTube and I'm interviewing a lot of these people and I just really love what I do just every day. I know you haven't been really doing it like as often lately, but if you were to go back to that moment that reminds you why you love content creating, just all that you do, what would that moment be
Yeah.
for you?
Um, oh man, I feel like there's so many things.
Yeah.
Uh, like kind of like what I was talking about earlier, like I've just met so many wonderful people. Um, there's actually a girl who is like a fellow content creator, that I met through this that is like truly one of my I keep hitting my microphone. Truly one of my best friends. And like we talk every single day. And like without having started my channel, I wouldn't have met her, you know? Like that's and it's just crazy to think like somebody who's so important in my life, like I wouldn't have had if I hadn't put myself out there, you know? And um I just I do I love making content. I love doing all these things and there's so many things that I'm just like, oh, like when you're streaming and people pop in the chat and they're like, "Oh, I can't stay, but I just wanted to say hi," you know? Like that's even so special because you know that like what you're doing means enough to somebody that they even just wanted to come say hi, you know? Like that it's so fulfilling. Um and like some specific people that I've gotten to meet were just like, oh, this really made it so fun and worth it because I got to hang out with this person, you know? Like, um, yeah, it's just been really special. The time that I got to be part of the launch day team for a new video game, actually for one of the Nancy Drews, because you know I niche myself really hard into that pigeonhole there. Um, but I got to be one of the people who like got the game and you know got to play it and make content and you know, do all that. And that was just so worth it because I think back to like little 5-year-old Susie who played one of those games for the very first time, like would be so stoked to think that like 30-year-old Susie is playing these games for the company, you know, like that's wild, but that's my life, you know, like that's I put myself out there and I do these things and people appreciate it and yeah, yeah. I just think of little 5-year-old me like playing that game for the very first time. And I, you know, I was 5. So like I could barely understand what I was doing because I could barely read, but you know, it was so fun and so special and here I am literally 25 years later and I'm still doing it and it's still fun, it's still special and I get to do so much more. It's awesome.
Right on. Well, I don't want to take up too much time, but I just really wanted to say thank you so much for doing this. And once again, I'm just really glad that we were able to have this nice little follow-up chat. So if
Thank
there's
you.
any bit of like final thoughts you want to close out this interview with and plug your socials, upcoming videos, just get that
Oh, sure.
going. Yeah, self-promo time.
Yes. Um, okay, so let's see. My main stuff is under Susie Should Be Sleeping. So that's my YouTube channel is Susie Should Be Sleeping, and my Instagram and TikTok are all Susie Should Be Sleeping. And then I do have an Etsy shop still. It's kind of a little bit dormant. I have only my printables because I didn't want to have to be shipping stuff while I was like in the throes of having a newborn. And that is Lemon Pepper Creation. So that will be coming back probably next year. In like a physical items way again. Um, and then, yes, I also wanted to mention that something that's been really big in our lives lately is that my husband has been really busy with his band. So you guys should totally check out his band because it's awesome. Check him out on Spotify. It's called Hear Tell. It's like hear, like I heard, like HEAR, Hear Tell. So definitely check him out. His band is super cool. They're gonna have an EP out in January, I think. So super excited. They got a few songs on Spotify. Check them out. So that's been like a huge part of our lives recently. We've been super proud of. I'm not in it, but I'm super proud. I'm trying to think what else. I haven't really been doing much else. So that's all. That's all I got.
Ready, right on. I usually do an outro of just having the guests say their name and promoting Station Square podcast if you're up to it.
Yes. Wait,
Alrighty.
what?
Yeah, you could just say your name, you
Oh,
promote your,
me say my.
yeah,
Oh,
that
okay.
this
Sorry. I was
is,
like
yeah.
thinking you were okay. Yes, my name is Susie, and my podcast is actually Spilling the Tea with Susie on my channel. Susie should be sleeping.
Yeah, and you've just tuned into Station Square podcast with myself. And yeah, you just listened to this interview with me and Susie. So once again, thank you for watching. And yeah, anything else you want to say? Or we good?
Oh my goodness, I'm just so grateful that you wanted to talk to me again. Like that's so cool.
Yeah,
I had such a great time with you the first time. This has been so fun. And just I mean, keep doing what you're doing. It's so fun, it's so special.
thanks. And with that, thank you for watching. Stick around next time. And until then, catch y'all later. Bye bye.